Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to Gunny. Gunny is a 2018 Chevy Colorado Z71. She's got approximately 7,800 miles now. I've had her since October of 2017. Got a little bit of work done to her. Wanted to let you know that this is probably one of the only ones like this in the US right now. Chevy aftermarket doesn't have many of the options that I had installed available, at least at this juncture. But we'll go ahead and we'll start the little tour off with just a rough 360 view. Added a little bit of artwork to the back there. A nice shout out to my friends over at Board Bin in Sun Valley, Idaho. One of the best rock bands in the world, Rush, and the United States Marine Corps. As you can see, she's got a little bit of lift to her. That was not by design. I had it done and taken care of. The exterior has a couple of options available. The Chevy bow tie on the front is actually backlit in red LED. Didn't want to go with the standard Chevy bow tie option that's lit up. It just didn't go with the paint job, and I really didn't want to pay that much to have it done. It was easier to have it done aftermarket outside of the Chevy network. The side rails there are going to make it a lot easier for Mom to be able to crawl inside, because she absolutely loves this pickup and doesn't always have really good knees and a lot of ability to flex to step up into something that's a little bit higher. And plus, I'm pretty damn lazy myself, so I don't like having to do any more work than I necessarily have to. So having a little option to be able to step up is just fine with me. One of the first things you probably noticed is the sports bar with the off-road lights. I had all the work done at Peterson Chevy in Boise, Idaho. The side rails have a red plate background behind the Colorado cutout. One of the options that's not available, at least currently according to Chevy.com, is a soft roll-up tonneau cover with the sports bar package and the lights. They just don't have that available right now. This is something I had to ask some of the guys over at Peterson Chevy about, and they said that it's doable. It just requires a lot more work than the manufacturers and the people over at Chevy necessarily want to do, so they basically leave it to the people that want to buy it. I gotta tell you, after 7,800 miles, it is one of the best rides I have ever had in my life. Not necessarily just because it's new, but because it is so smooth. So we got a lift and level kit there. We got some bigger off-road tires. If you know anything about the state of Idaho, there's a lot of outdoors there, and some of us actually like to hunt and fish, as well as go camping. Had a little bit of nice work done to the wheels, and right down close here I had the calipers painted, and you'll see that it is the same red color that goes with the paint job. Let's take a look inside. I'll show you what Gunny looks like from an interior perspective. Had her clean, but I've made a home out of her, so excuse any mess she might have. We're going to go ahead and take a look here. One of the other options I had included was these little step protectors. Absolutely a huge fan of Chevy. The interior is a very dark charcoal gray. Vinyl and soft cushion seating. I love these seats. If you live in the outdoors, or if you live in an environment where there's some cold, one of the things you'll notice right away is the ability for the seats to heat up. I absolutely love that feature. The options are very generous, and there's a lot more available than I've had done yet. Gunny is still a work of art at this juncture, and he's just a great little toy. The smart adapter feature for the radio and the stereo lets you adapt to anything that's Bluetooth accessible. You can get a little OnStar and navigation sense up here. Put a little camera in the front. Wanted to make sure everywhere I go I got a little bit of security there. It's a nice big dash in the front, and for anybody that's got a few things they like to keep around them, there's just a lot of room available. You're going to have no problem getting in and accessing anything that you necessarily need. Power seats, some power windows. The side mirrors are also powered. Some security features there. Let's open the back up a little bit. Again, some of us actually like to do a little bit of fishing. Oh, remember November, right? Again, shout out to Peterson Chevy here in Boise, Idaho. Big thanks to Chris Polyoff, who was the guy that got me one of the best deals I think you can get on these Chevy Colorados. The seats actually fold down, create a nice little bench area right here, and give you a lot more room in case you're not going to have any passengers, unless you got somebody sitting in the passenger seat. But you got a little bit of room right there. I like to keep mine fairly clean. Got a little membership over at Mr. Car Wash. Take care of it. Let's take a look. Another one of the features that I care for. One of the things I remember is being a kid growing up and grabbing stuff out of the back of my stepfather's Chevy was when we lifted the tailgate, that thing dropped down so quick you thought something was going to snap off. I love that relaxed release for the tailgate. One of the other things I had done is I had a spray-in bed liner. I wanted to make sure the vehicle was going to be taken care of as much as it can be. You know, you're not buying these things to be the luxurious BMW, Jaguar, Porsche type. It's not going to be the fastest in the world, and it's not going to be the absolute most comfortable ride, but it is, for a truck, one of the most comfortable and best rides I've ever been in. One of the little features that you'll look at right here is this is a toolbox, both on the driver and passenger side. I had these installed. They line the side of the pickup bed and they fold out using these toggle releases right here. You can also lock them in. They have security features of their own. Still give you a lot of room where the bed is concerned. Now this is a short bed version of the pickup, and it doesn't necessarily look that way when you're taking a other view of the pickup in its entirety, but that is a short bed. and that is not a diesel. That is the V6 with the Vortec. Comes straight from the factory. I haven't had any work done inside of the vehicle yet. I don't want to risk any of the warranties being slammed shut because of any options that are going to be done aftermarket where the engine is concerned. Let's take a look at the inside of the hood real quick. Right off the bat, there is a lot of room available here. That's one of the things that I really like. If you've been in the position where you actually have to do some work on a vehicle before and you do your own work, you want to have some room to be able to navigate around. And while some of these hoods don't necessarily make it really easy, it's really nice to see that it's kept clean and it's pretty well organized. Everything's straight across the board. Really not hard to find. There's no real hard to access features as far as the engine is concerned. Now, I grew up being taught by my stepfather to do your own work unless you're willing to risk your vehicle to somebody else. As I get older, I find it is a little bit easier to go to somebody else, but I kind of go through and I check their work when they do it. One of the things that I plan on doing is putting myself to test and starting to take care of this myself, so I do my own work. There are a little bit of issues for me to navigate getting around. It's not the easiest thing in the world. Like I said, she has 7,800 miles and a little bit of change on her. But everything is looking really, really, really well right now. And again, I couldn't be happier with the product that Chevy's putting out. This is genuinely one of the nicest vehicles that they got out on the market as far as the pickups are concerned. Now, I'm a bigger guy, 6'1", 250 pounds. I'm not a big fan of the full-size trucks. I personally just don't have the necessity to, dedicate myself to having something that big. And at least I could not find the diesel version of the pickup when I was in the market, and for that reason I stuck with the V6 with the Vortec option. I'm a bigger fan of that than I am anything else, and plus it's easier to mod if you're going to make any changes. Personal preference. So again, got a little bit of camping gear sitting in there. Easy shut tailgate. One of the features that I saw on trucks recently was these little steps right here to make it easier to crawl up into the back of the pickup. I love that little feature, especially if you're a little bit older and it's a little bit of a stretch for you. They just make it really easy for you to access it. For a mid-size pickup, this is a great option for anybody. And again, me being 46, almost 47, and well, my mom, well, just do the math. But anyways, even for older folk, this is a great option for them if they still have the necessity to need a pickup to get around and they want something that they could drive in town. It's comfortable, got a sporty look to it. Again, real big fan of the options that are available. I got really fortunate, won a little bit of money on a lottery ticket. Figured I'm going to make one purchase of a vehicle. I'm going to make work for me. Asked myself what the 16-year-old in me would do. What would I want? If I showed up to school and 16 years old, driving what? I would be the stud of the valley. This was my envision of what I wanted to have when I was a kid and what I love having now as a 46-year-old kid. Really nice wheels. And again, it's got a lift and level kit. The Z71 has the off-road package. I also have a tow package on this. In case I decided I wanted to buy any other toys and I wanted to tow around. Still considering that. Had an opportunity to take my little brother John and do some scuba diving. We took some classes together, and well, you know, life's a beach and then you dive. So just got certified, him and I, and planning some ideas, some trips that we could do later on. One of the nicest things I could say about this vehicle is, while you're not going to get the recommended mileage on the sticker, given a lot of the work that I've done between the wheels and the lift and all the weight that I got in the back, I still get pretty good mileage. I average about 14.5, 15 miles a gallon, which, you know, it's a pickup, ladies and gentlemen. Now it's, you know, you're not buying it for the best mileage in the world, but for the work that you might need it to do, it does really well, and that's just in city. Navigating some of these small towns, sometimes it's easier just to take the freeway. I get approximately 27 miles a gallon. Drove to Salt Lake City recently. Did a dive at the craters there outside of Salt Lake City, and I got 27 miles a gallon, which for a pickup is great. I had my brother and all of our gear, our dive gear in it, so here she is. I think probably one of the best pickups to come out from Chevy for a mid-size in a long time. If you have any questions or comments, if you know of anybody else that's got all these features, let me know. You know, big fan. You know, maybe we can put our heads together and figure out something else we can do. But this is Gunny, and Gunny and I say goodbye. Again, if you have any questions or comments, leave them in the boxes below when I post this to YouTube, and we'll figure her out. But thank you very much, and if you have any questions, it's always good to get hold of Peterson Chevy here in Boise, Idaho. Again, Chris Polyahoff is the GSM, and all the great sales representatives they have over there. You have a nice day.